Oh my god, Carol did what? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, what is going on? It is your boy Ian K for Peep This Out here with some quick thoughts and a recap of the most recent episode of The Walking Dead, episode 3, Isolation. An absolutely killer beginning to the start there, picking up with the whole throwdown between Rick and Tyrese with Daryl and Carol in the background over there. Obviously with the cliffhanger from last week, the discovery of the two bodies at the very end of that being Karen, Tyrese's girlfriend, and of course Dave in isolation from the very first couple of episodes there. Seeing exactly what went down. Pretty sad overall what transpired after that. I don't know about you guys, but watching Tyrese and Rick get down, it was pretty hard to watch. Obviously it was coming from a very hard place from Tyrese, watching Daryl trying to do what he needed to do with Carol in the background as well. An amazing scene overall, and clearly elevating Tyrese to that next level of what he is in the comic book, being just an absolute badass with his hammer, which we see later on in the episode. But very, very hard scene to watch, watching him break down, seeing his love fried up. Tyrese very adamant about wanting to find out who did this to Karen as well as Dave, and obviously looking to Rick for that leadership, and Rick kind of on the fringe of teetering on the brink of going back to the way that he was, being in the round table with the group, going over what they were going to do regarding keeping people in isolation. Obviously a lot of the kids are coming down sick, as well as a whole chunk of the population with this flu. Herschel deciding that, you know what, the best thing to do is to get over to a college, pick up those veterinary supplies, because it's very similar to what we would use anyway, and we can really see about treating this thing and getting it back to the way things were. It's all about the drama, guys. You all know it's Walking Dead is all about that drama. Glenn, Lizzie, and Sasha all are showing visible signs of sickness, so they are pulled from the population and put into the isolation area. They're the containment area of the prison, and that's where we really see a lot of the crazy, sad things, what's happening with this there. Some people turning into zombies only because they've already passed on. Obviously, the next order of business is to get those meds. Daryl puts together a small scout team to head over to that college about 50 miles from the prison, so they're making a run on there. By the time they get to that prison, it is completely overrun with zombies everywhere. Crazy horde definitely engulfs the car, and it is just craziness from that point on. Another crazy set piece of zombies getting geared up and mashed underneath the tires. It was really, really killer to see. And I don't know about you guys, but I thought Tyrese was a goner right there. When he gets out of the car and you see him getting ready to go to town, this is classic Tyrese from the comic book. He is just going to town with that hammer. I thought he was a goner the way that that was framed, but obviously he makes it out in one piece. We witness Carl chaperoning Herschel outside of the prison against Carl's wishes, obviously, but Herschel has a better idea in mind. He's got to collect some of those herbs and the plants and stuff, because he wants to treat those people in isolation. He can't just sit there and do nothing. He's got to be useful. You got to love Herschel in this episode. He definitely was the voice of reason, the voice of just the morality of trying to take care of these people. I loved watching Scott Wilson in that character do what he needed to do. Definitely well put there. And obviously seeing what happened there, it was really the rationale for him to do what he needed to do. If you're going to risk your life, make sure you know what you're risking it for. It was very well acted, very well done. Great seeing him in isolation, treating those people and doing what he needed to do. You can really see the caring in his eyes, and definitely well put there as well. But guys, what did you think about Carol admitting that she had killed Karen and Dave from last week? One shocking revelation after another. But obviously it came right out when Rick asked the direct question, is there anything you wouldn't do to protect this group? And she said no. And then when he directly asked her if she had done the deed and killed those two, and she admitted yes, very coldly, and turned around, that was the perfect ending to that episode, and the jaw-dropping moment. Like, can you believe Carol did this? I could not believe that either. Definitely changes the whole dynamic of the story. Obviously we got Tyrese, who's really hot from everything that happened early on in the episode, because it was obviously his girlfriend who was killed. So it's going to be crazy to see what's going to happen from that point on. But obviously that point blank question, definitely the cliffhanger of the weekend. And of course that emergency broadcast that Daryl and his crew picked up on the radio, when you arrive, you survive, was some of the things that you can make out from that. We'll see exactly what happens with that as well. I don't know about you guys, but that moss-covered zombie action in the middle of that episode was totally killer. And the bear trap zombie right up on the back up too right there was cool. Amazing special effects. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This season is the pinnacle for state-of-the-art special effects and zombie filmmaking. Clearly, keep elevating that to the next level. It is just craziness. Alright guys, now it's your turn. After giving this video a thumbs up and liking and sharing and definitely subscribing to Peep This Out, definitely drop some comments down below and let me know what you thought of this episode. How crazy was it to see Rick throw down with Tyrese in the beginning of that episode and have Tyrese's eye getting blown out the way that it was? Pretty crazy special effects. Great makeup there. How amazing was it to see that interaction there between those two? And of course, what did you guys think of Carol's revelation at the same time? For the good of the group, clearly that's got to be her mindset with that. She's not a cold-blooded killer. Obviously, it changes the dynamic of the character. How do you feel about it? As always, this has been your boy Ian K for Peep This Out. We're going to talk to you next week for the next recap for the next episode of The Walking Dead, Season 4 rolling on. You know how we do, guys. We'll talk to you then. Stay frosty.